Hello, so this is a tutorial on how to do and use GarageBand. Now, if you search the internet, you're going to find lots of tutorials, and a lot of them are really good, but I thought that a lot of them had more information than we just needed. So I'm going to concentrate on how to actually use GarageBand, mainly just to create a duet or trio, quartet, whatever you want to do in the flute parts, and try and keep it as basic as possible. Now, for this particular tutorial, I am going to focus on how to do this on a laptop. You can do this on an iPad, you can do this on an iPhone. There's a couple little different configurations, and I'll tell you as I go along, but there is a pretty good video that I will also attach of someone talking about specifically how to use the iPhone. I don't really use the iPhone for GarageBand. It's mainly just that there's not enough surface work, but some of you might want to do that. The other thing I'm going to say is that if you have a PC and you can't do this because GarageBand is just for Apple products, there is a great program called Audacity, and there's a great tutorial video that someone already created. It's a free software, and things will work very similar to what you do in GarageBand. You don't need any of the fancy features to do a duet. So let's work on this. I'm going to start it from the very beginning and play a very basic duet and show you how I would create it. Okay, let me get the phone set up here so we can see the computer. Let's see here. Okay, so there we go. So I have it set up already. Like it will show up when you do GarageBand, when you open it up. It's asking you if you want to open up an existing project or if you want to open up or start a new one. So I'm going to say empty project. So just clicking on this. And you get something that will pop up like this. They ask you what you want to record. For us, we are a microphone. We are not an instrument. We are a microphone because we want to use our external microphone. So I'm going to hit create. And then you'll see I have a track. I'm having this thing come up, avoid using feedback. The reason I'm getting this message is because I do not have my headphones plugged in at this time. So if I were to record without the headphones, and I'll show you, I'll just say okay, and I have this little thing here, it would actually create a lot of feedback because it's just a setting thing. So right now I will have that off, but I think when I record, I'm going to do a very simple duet. I will put that back on. Just a couple other little things. This is pretty basic up here. This is record, this is play, this is stop. The other thing you can do is to stop the recording, you just hit your space bar. That's another thing to do. This little thing over here is the metronome. So when you click it, it's going to be going on. And you can adjust the tempo just by going over in here, and I just usually highlight that, delete it, and put in whatever tempo I want to do. And when you're trying to do a duet, you're going to want that metronome feature in. Okay, so some of the other things that are important to note is this thing down here that says recording level. So normally I have a mic sometimes that I use that is attached separately. If you have that, you can actually use different types of mics in this input thing. I can drag it down, and if I had my microphone attached to it, it would actually show up here, and I could change it to that level. To make this sound good, you're going to want to play with this recording level and see how hot it is and high it is. Now, if I start recording, and I'll just do this right now, and I have it all the way up here, and I'm sitting really close right now, I'm really close to my computer, it will show you like a tremendous waveform. It'll be like super fat. There is no way that could sound good. So you can just stop it even if you don't hear it. You know that's going to not sound good. So I'll show you what that is. So right now I'm hitting record. You see I'm getting a metronome. It's even showing red here, but let me try it. I'm going to play a little thing. I won't even play that. Well, let me see if I can play it back. It will be pretty hideous, but that's a good measurement. That's hideous. So sometimes I get people say that it sounded just horrible, and you might have to play with the distance of this. So I'm going to delete this. So I'm just going to highlight this because I don't want to save it for sure. I'm going to hit the delete button. Gone. Okay. I'll hit the return button to make it go back, or I can just take this little thing right here and drag it, and that will also make it go back. Okay. So now I need to play with this. So either I need to adjust my placement, and I might do that if I was just doing this for real. I might just back up from the microphone, but I'll put it like about half that level. And what I'm going to look for over here is to make sure it doesn't go into the red. You saw that when I was recording before, it went into the red. Now, if I was to really record it, you notice how the metronome was going? I would really need to put in my headphones. The reason is because the microphone is right here and you're hearing a click coming out here, and you're going to hear that that click is going to pick up in your recording. And while the metronome is functional, we definitely don't want the metronome to actually be part of the recording process. So I am going to just plug in headphones. When you do headphones, do try to use headphones that don't have an onboard mic. Here's the reason, is because your mic is so close to your face, it doesn't really work well for the flute sound. Oh, you can't see my whole screen here. Oh, hopefully you guys saw that before. Let's see. Okay. Oh, no, we got it. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to try it again. I'm going to record a very simple, one of my very simple kid duets. I'm going to do is super simple right now, this monkey bar thing, if you can see that. Just even going to record the first line right there. Because I'm just experimenting with it. If you're going to experiment with this, do basic. You know, it's like you're going to need one session that's just like figuring out, how do I record? Whether you do this on Audacity or you do this on the GarageBand. Now I need to backtrack 1 second. If you want to do this on your phone, and I'll give you another tutorial, the majorly frustrating thing is that it will show you that you only have 8 bars to record. You have, of course, a lot more time to do this. What you want to do is go into your settings in your iPhone, and go to your app where it says GarageBand, and there's a little click down thing. It says automate recording length. Give it me as much as I want. See, right now on my program, I can go, and well, there might be a max to it, but I can go hours and record one level of a track and then not be cut off. So that was something really frustrating when I opened my GarageBand through my phone. That was different. The other thing that is, obviously you don't see as much of a screen, so like the navigating on an iPhone is definitely more challenging, and maybe that's just me because I haven't really come from that particular thing. So I've always kind of done this on a laptop. Okay, so let me record this, and then I'll show you a couple other little things. So I'm going to record just like the first 4 bars of the flute 1 line part, and as you do this, you're going to see this wavelength because you won't be able to hear what I'm hearing back in my headphones with the metronome, because the metronome will now only be through my headphones, but you'll be able to see what's going on here. So I'm going to hit record. I have my headphones on. Okay, so, I hit my first note and I saw this big waveform, so I started playing a little softer. So I should probably just take that recording level and put it down again, but I adjusted it with my actual self. Okay, let me take my headphones out so you can hear a couple other things. The other thing is, well, let me play it first as it is. This is pretty dry. This is just as it was recorded. So that's not bad. It's not bad. And you notice that I just hit this metronome on and off, so that will, when I don't want to hear it again, I'll just highlight that. And that's the same exact thing on the iPhone too. Okay, but there's some cool little things, this basic, I'm just going to show you the most basic of editing things, and that is this ambiance and reverb. They kind of give it a more wet sound, so it's more like in a hall. I'll give it like, 3/4 of the way through. Yep. And you can hear the difference there. So it's already a little bit more warmer in the sound. I can go farther if I want. And depending on what flute I'm playing or what piece I'm playing, I change this. It changes all the times. So that might be a little bit too much for me. And I know it's harder to hear for my little speakers, but I'm going to make it just kind of like a lot less than that. Okay, now I want to record the second part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this plus sign right here, and I'm just going to hit it. And it will ask me again what I want to do. If you want to experiment with these things, there's lots of great cool features here, but I want to show you the basic on how to actually make a melody, or make a duet, sorry. I'm going to hit this, and I'll hit create. And now we have another track, and it's giving me the same message because I don't have my headphones in. Let me do that right now, and I will avoid the feedback buzzy thing. Okay, so I want to hear this part and this part going here. So this little thing is just it's telling me that I want to monitor it. And monitoring means that I can hear what's going on in in this recording as well as this recording. I know already that I'm going to kind of want about the same reverb that I did in the other one because I want to make them match a little bit. I know that my second part should probably not be as loud as my first part, so just, I can automate this. Again, there's super cool things that you can do in this, but I'm just going to try and play it a little softer. I'm also going to just bring the recording level down just a little bit more because it was pretty hot on the other recording. And I'll hit the return bar to make it come back to the beginning. I will hit the metronome so it goes back on to that same tempo that we just did. I'm going to put my headphones on, and when I see this, I'm actually listening to the metronome, but I'm also watching my waveform. And the other thing I do, a little trick here, is I give an actual audible breath before I start. That gives me the cue that, oh, the other part is coming in, okay? So headphones on, I'm on this, oh, you have to make sure you're highlighted. Like if I highlight this track, the audio one, it'll actually start recording on there. So I wanna highlight the second part to make sure I'm starting the recording on that. I'm gonna hit the recording button. Hit the space bar to stop it. It's kind of a little way that makes it easier. I'm gonna take these off so you can hear them. Maybe I'll bring it up so you can hear it a little bit better. So let me go back to the very beginning. You can see I made a little sound here, so we're gonna hear a sound at the beginning here. Oh, let me take the metronome thing off, okay? I'm gonna hit the space bar to play it. And I made at the beginning of a duet. That gives me the idea of what's happening here. Now, so you've done this and you want to share it. Oh, wait, let me show one other thing here. So I'm going to be starting to send out duets and duet parts. I'll put it up for the Facebook group for Flock. I'll put it there. Individual students, I'm going to send you them. What you can do if you want to just play a duet with me is you'll take the part I sent you and drag it, literally drag it from, I don't have a file right here, but if I did, I would take it and I would just highlight it and I would drag it right into the actual track that I wanted it to. I will always record dry. I won't put in any reverb so that you can put it in yourself so that we can match one another, so that can be kind of a setting. So now let's just say you want to share it. You want to put it on as the, social media, or you just want to share it to your parents. You just want to have it. You have to go to the share button. A couple options you can do. I mean, the obvious ones, iTunes, it will go to your iTunes account. Mail, it'll drop it there. But the one I usually do is this export to disk. When I hit it, it's going to actually give me, shoot. Let me do that again because I didn't get a chance to, I hit. Okay, wrong thing. So I want to retitle this because I don't know what this is. So I'm going to put, this one was called Monkey Bars. And I will share it to my desktop. And I can choose what kind of file that I want. MP3 is if you're going to be sending this around, MP3 is fine. All of these, if you want to do it professionally, the WAV and the AIFF, NACC, they're all very high qualities that would be better for professional recording. But I'm just going to hit export like that. And I made sure that my metronome, you don't want that metronome to be off. The other thing you want to make sure of is that this isn't on. This is a mute. And you can see that it changed it there. That would actually bounce that file that we just did with only the second part if I did that. Okay, let me show you one other cool thing. Let's just say that, and I don't use this program. I use a different program, so let me figure this out. Let me say that I just wanted to get this little blip thing out. Let's see. I would go to the edit button. And okay, it says split region at playhead. This is kind of cool. This is a cool one. And I split it. You can see it made it in two parts there. Same deal with this one. Let me do the same thing. And I want to highlight that. And I'll go to the edit and I'll hit split. And then I can highlight just that part that I split and put delete. Delete. And if I don't want this dead time at the beginning, I'll drag it over to the very beginning. Now I've actually made my recording, start a little sooner so that when I start here, there's not a lot of time at the beginning. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. I think that's the basics of everything I wanted to show you. Again, there's so many more cool things about this program if you want to dive into it, but that is how to record a duet. And start simple. Start like super basic, simple, maybe even just with a scale. Put on a metronome and start with a scale and see if you can experiment with just the sounds or rounds. I mean, just anything that's really simple and short, before you start doing the entire duet. And I will start putting those duets on the beginning of this week. So you can get a head start with this if you want. Okay. And same thing with Audacity. The same things I talked about will be similar in Audacity, and I will put the tutorial link for Audacity specifically, as well as the iPhone that I spoke of. All right, happy creating.